breakups are situations that are potentially one of the hardest for us to overcome. You're watching this video perhaps because you are wondering if you have any chance of getting back with your ex, if you can get back with your ex, should you get back with your ex, but also wondering what's going on in their mind. What's the rationale? What's the decision process? Where are they right now in terms of their mindset? It's very important because in reality, there are 5 different stages people go through after a breakup. And in this video, I will explain every single of those stages because depending on where your ex is, you'll have to adapt your communication, you'll have to adapt your actions if you want to successfully get back together.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
The first stage is the frozen stage from Elsa. Elsa singing Let It Go, Let It Go. She's finally relieved. She's finally alone in her castle, finally living her own life. This is how they feel, usually. It's hard to understand or to accept, but in a way, they are so happy now that this is over. You have to understand that the decision to break up with you was a very long process. People tend to say that about 30% of the relationship it takes for people to start reflecting on making this decision. If you were together for 3 years, your ex started to think about breaking up with you a year ago. And so understand that there's been months of internal struggle about, debating about the kids, about projects that you had together that basically will be cancelled, moving out, finding a new place, paying bills, and so on, and the financial constraints of breaking up, of having 2 houses, etc., etc. So there's been a lot of debate, and when the breakup happens, finally, all this pressure, all this tension is gone. And so there's also some struggles. I'm not saying that your ex shouldn't be accountable for their action, but it's also important to understand that they struggled. They struggled with the guilt of disappointing you, the social pressure, what we're going to say, what we're going to do with our friends, with our family. It's very simple to make a monster of that person. They deceived me. We had so many things together, and they are ripping everything apart because of their decision. Understand that if they cared about you, if they loved you, they didn't take this decision like this, like out of an impulse. You also have a part of responsibility. You have to understand that it takes 2 to be in a relationship and it takes 2 to break up. What I want you to understand is it was a difficult decision. If you feel that it was an easy decision for them, I would challenge you thinking, do you really want to be back with them if that's what you want? Because by experience, the clients I work with, I know, and we assess that when we start working together, this was something difficult because they appreciate the value of the relationship. Maybe something was not working. Maybe there were a lot of miscommunication. Maybe there was a clash in attachment. But deep inside, they really value the relationship and it pained them to leave the relationship. If your ex doesn't feel any pain, it's easy to break up with you, I would argue that you have no chance of getting back together. And by the way, I forgot to mention, but there's a quiz. If you want to know if you have any chance of getting back with your ex, we're going to assess this. It's totally free. And the idea is to provide you a score and gain clarity on your situation. Depending on your score, you get some tips and recommendation. Have a look, it's totally free. Stage number 2 is celebration. So we relieve the pressure and then we celebrate. It's kind of, it's a bit of a stupid example, but like when you're out of prison, you want to do everything. You want to celebrate. When there's a lot of tension, stressful situation is gone, you want to do crazy things. You're going to do skydiving, you're going to binge drink, you're going to party hard like there's no tomorrow. You're 20 again. And it's kind of confusing when you are dating someone like that and you don't recognize that person. Well, he used to be, staying at home, not doing anything, or she used to be very much an introvert and didn't like to go out, but now they are partying, they are everywhere, they are traveling. and you feel like they've changed, right? And this will provide some form of ego boost. I'm going to talk about ego boost throughout this video. It's the idea that they're winning the breakup. It's the idea that it's the right solution. It's the right decision for me. I enjoy life. Now life is so much better. And if you want to give them an extra ego boost, here is the tip. 3 bullet points. You beg them to take you back. You act clingy, needy. You cry in front of them. That will reinforce this idea that they made the right decision. So if you want them to feel empowered, invincible, huge ego boost, do those things. Please be my guest. Do those things and you'll see your ex will feel like, it validates my idea. And this stage 2 will actually prolong. The longer you stay in that phase of begging and being clingy, the longer the phase number 2 will be. Because in a way, that celebration phase usually doesn't last very long because it's driven by excitement, it's driven by novelty. But once you've done skydiving, partying, you get back to reality, you've done those things, and you kind of, okay, let's go back to work, let's go back to my life, let's go back to seeing my kids and so on and so forth. And so life goes back as usual, as normal. And so they will often shift from black or white. It's better outside of the relationship. I'll be happier. The past relationship was not working, was not happy in this relationship, to something more complex, to something that's like, okay, this new situation is not as I expected. At this stage, they're not regretting their decision yet, but they're starting to see that, okay, hold on, I made a lot of assumptions and some of them were incorrect. This will leave you to the stage number 3. If you go no contact, if you leave enough space, if you let them have this phase 1, phase 2, enjoy life, party, hang out with your friends, do silly things. We're not together anymore. You don't have to ask me your permission. You do whatever you want. Fair enough. But they don't hear from you for a while. And they're going to start thinking, what are you up to? What's going on in your life? And in a way, you seem to enjoy life as well. Because people will never admit, but in a way, when you break up with someone, you always want to reassure you that you are happier than them. You break up because you leave a situation that's not working for you, assuming that this new phase, this new life will be better, and therefore you always want to be like, I'm here and you're here. But when they realize that you're not clingy, you're not needy, you're not trying to get them back, you're not begging to take them back, they'll feel like, okay, hold on. I've done my silly phase, I've celebrated, but there's something missing. Okay? Now, of course, if they're not curious, if they don't care about you, again, we are back to were you important in their life? I can't answer this question, you know it better than me. It's really important because you can go no contact and assume like, okay, I've listened to those tips, I go no contact and they will come back. This will not work if your ex doesn't care about you. It's as simple as that, and I don't want you to waste your time trying to find ways to get them to, if they don't care about you, if they don't feel the loss, you're wasting your time, okay? And this phase number 3 will push their ego down. They are very strong, super confident, I'm going to win this breakup, I'm going to enjoy this time, and they face the reality of things. It's not as exciting as they thought it would be. Stage number 3 is also about asking about you, to their friends, to family, checking your stories. So you'll see that, maybe for a month or 2, you don't see any activity on Instagram, and now you start seeing them looking at your story. They might send you a message about, this is an example from a client recently, where his ex sent him a message. Did you see the crypto bull run? They never spoken about cryptocurrency when they were together, but out of nowhere, she decided to send this message. It's a sign that no contact is working. If you hear your ex sending you random things, it's because they are dying to know what you're up to. And they find the most random excuse to reach out. Stage number 4 is that they're going to shift to being curious to worried. What the is going on from their point of view? And they'll try to reconnect. They'll try to see you. They'll try to assess where you are. Again, it's all about checking assumptions. They assume that they're going to be happier, they assume that the new life will be better, and now they want to check whether actually they might have made a mistake. And so the dynamic is completely different. We were from a place of I'm strong, I'm going forward, I'm enjoying, while you were maybe stuck, depressed, sad, to a place of really turning the tables. Because in a way, they feel that they're losing. They feel like actually they don't want this life. They're not sure of getting back with you. Not saying that if you're in that phase, 100% chance of you getting back together, but they're just wondering. They're just like, okay, I might have made a mistake. I'm not sure, but I might have made a mistake. Now, if I look back at the relationship, because over time we tend to, the negative emotions, the negative things of the relationship will reduce in intensity. We remember the happy things. And we also wondering like, where is that person that I spent a lot of time with? I assume that they are depressed. I assume that they are still stuck in this relationship, but they seem that they have moved on. And I might be missing the train. I might have done the worst mistake ever. And so they're going to start doubting their decision. This is where it's important. And this is also the most confusing part and the most frustrating part. Most of my clients were in touch on WhatsApp around this phase. They're in touch with their ex. They are seeing each other regularly. They know their ex regret their decision, but the problem is that it's always a back and forth. They're going to compare the new you. They're not going to compare their new life versus their old relationship. But they're also going to compare the old you versus the new you. Because the whole point between stage 1 to stage 5, the only thing that matters is what you're doing today to build up confidence, to work on yourself, work on your insecurities, design a life, finally a life that's in line with who you are really. And learning how to also set new boundaries, learning to know what you want in life, and we'll discuss at the very end about that. But the problem with this phase is all of back and forth, all about yes, but no. One step forward, 2 steps backwards. One step forward, 2 steps backwards. And it's going to be very difficult to assess this because you want to progress, you want to move forward, but they're not sure. You have to understand that when you get back with someone, the process of recovery, you bring a person who is 10% sure about getting back together, and you have to bring that person to 50, 60%. And then they will finally make that decision. So you have to guide them, and it's frustrating because some people respond better than others. It's frustrating because sometimes we don't know what to say, we don't know what to do, and that's why sometimes people love WhatsApp, because I basically tell them, do this, do that, and they just follow, and it works. Now, the problem with this stage 5, you also need to assess what you truly want, because it's been 1, 2, 3 months of no contact, 1, 2, 3 months where you were not together. Maybe this idea of I need to get them back at all costs kind of evolved in your head. Maybe it's not so much about the relationship, it's not so much about them, it's about what you want. What do you truly want? You have your set of values. You know what matters. You know how you want to be treated. If you're not sure about those things, stop contacting your ex and work on those things. You need to assert your worth. After breakup, the day after breakup, we feel useless. We are dark place. We feel completely useless, worthless. The whole point of the post-breakup, the whole point of the recovery is how you can go from this place to a place of strength, and in a way, stronger than before the breakup. And so when you start and you shift the mindset from, I know what I want, and these are non-negotiable, you're coming back to me, you're coming back to my life, and now I'm the one who will decide. Because I'm the one moving forward, I'm the one doing the work. And I'm not going to be complacent this time. I'm not going to accept things. I'm not going to be a people pleaser person with you, because the relationship is so important, because I value more than anything in my life. You need to value yourself first. And so really assess whether you're the one bringing solution. You're the one trying to create the right framework. Remember, if you want to get back with someone, something needs to change. The only thing that you can change is yourself. You can present that, design your life around that, and see whether your partner, whether your ex, is also doing the work. Took 2 to break up, it will take 2 to get back together. If you're the only one doing the work, you're wasting your time, my friend. And you have to ask yourself the question, realistically, what do I freaking want in my life? If it's not clear, let me know in the comment section and I will be more than happy to answer any of your questions. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.